Hey guys, we're looking at Mark chapter 4, verses 21 through 25 today. And just again, short little passage, but really, really crucial to what it is that we're trying to figure out in Mark, and more importantly, what it is that we get to experience with Jesus. This passage reminds me of one of my favorite series of books, maybe my favorite series of books ever, written by C.S. Lewis called the Chronicles of Narnia. And I would really encourage you to read through that series, even with your kids. It's amazing. But there's a passage it's the second book, but it's actually the prequel, so the first one in the chronology of this series, called The Magician's Nephew. And this one talks about how this whole Narnia concept began. And if you read through this series, you get to see very clearly that the main focus is on a character called Aslan. And Aslan's a lion who is the Christ figure, and a way for C.S. Lewis to be able to portray the gospel. And we do it through the actions and the will and the roaring of this lion. But there's a scene in The Magician's Nephew when Aslan is creating Narnia, and it's depicted in a way that Aslan sings a song, and people hear this beautiful song being sung, and it's this draw and this movement to worship or to gather around Aslan. But there are some that don't hear it, and a lot of times they do it because they refuse to. One of those characters, his name is Uncle Andrew, and this is what this passage says regarding the creation song that Aslan sings into existence about Uncle Andrew. When the great moment came and the beast spoke, he missed the whole point for a rather interesting reason. When the lion had first begun singing, long ago, when it was still quite dark, he had realized that the noise was a song. And he had disliked the song very much. It made him think and feel things he did not want to think and feel. Then, when the sun rose and he saw that the singer was a lion, only a lion, he said to himself, he tried his hardest to make himself believe that it wasn't singing and never had been singing, only roaring as any lion might in a zoo in our own world. Of course it can't really have been singing, he thought. I must have imagined it. I must have been letting my nerves get out of order. Who ever heard of a lion singing? And the longer and more beautifully the lion sang, the harder Uncle Andrew tried to make himself believe that he could hear nothing but roaring. Now, the trouble about trying to make yourself stupider than you really are is that you very often succeed. Uncle Andrew did. He soon did hear nothing but roaring in Aslan's song. Soon he couldn't have heard anything else even if he had wanted to. And when at last the lion spoke and said, "Narnia, wake!" he didn't hear any words. He heard only a snarl, and when the beast spoke in answer, he heard only barkings, growlings, bayings, and howlings. Now I read this to you in connection with this passage because Jesus says to those that have ears, let them hear. And I guess the question is, what do you hear when you listen to God? What is it you see when you open your eyes to Him? Not what others say about Him or what others try to tell us about God. I don't think that's what the interest is here. But what do you hear when you listen to God Himself? I challenge you to spend the day doing that. You guys have a blessed day. We'll see you next time.